Is religion an outdated concept in 2026? Well, religion's anything that even vaguely resembles something spiritual, so no, I don't think all religion is outdated. My personal opinion is that most of it is very, very primitive and probably doesn't really need to apply in 2026, and I'll tell you why. But first of all, full disclosure, I'm pagan myself, so if you've got a problem with me talking about your religion, best not to keep watching, because I'm not going to be kind about a lot of it. I'm talking to you Muslims and Christians, as you aren't going to like this. So I've probably pissed off a few people right off the bat there, and I'm going to piss off a few more. I'm going to leave Hinduism out of this, because I don't think that there's anything particularly problematic about Hinduism. And paganism, I will leave out as well, because I just don't think there's enough people there for it to be any kind of a problem for anybody. So we'll just focus on the big sort of two monotheist religions, being Christianity and Islam. Which also makes sense because they've been responsible for a great deal of the world's problems over the last 2,000 years anyway. So we'll start with Christianity. I mean, it's pretty bloody primitive. I mean, it's a system that was essentially stolen from the Jews and pagans and all sorts of other people all over the place. Most of it sort of stolen for the purposes of being able to spread it, because people wouldn't adapt to it locally unless it encompassed their local traditions and stuff. So you get a lot of the solstice stuff and Easter and all this sort of shit's all stolen from pagans. So most of the celebrations you see from Christianity aren't really theirs anyway. And the Christians were very brutal about spreading Christianity as well. They weren't like they are today, all preachy and soft and everybody's welcome and all that sort of bullshit. They didn't do that back then. They do that now because they're soft as shit. They've lost their way completely. I don't know how anyone can be bothered being a bloody mainstream Christian, like a Catholic or anything anymore, because they're just weak and soft. And I mean, you see the Pope now walking around in Islamic holy places and shit and being invited to mosques and... what are you doing, you bloody great clown? You are the leader of the Catholic Church. And focusing on your anti-Trump politics, have you got nothing fucking better to do? You've got big issues with your bloody church, and you're dealing with politics. So they've only recently become soft now. They weren't always like that. And they've fought wars amongst themselves forever and ever. You know, my God is better than your God, and you're wrong about God, and I think this, so therefore I'm going to kill you, even though my holy book and your holy book both say we shouldn't kill anybody. And Jesus had everybody worship him like he was God, because he's, you know, the Son of God, the literal manifestation of God on earth, because that's a real thing. So you've essentially got a whole massive cult of people the world over who worship a dude who said that he was the Son of God. Okay. I personally, as a pagan, I just think that's bloody weird as shit. And Islam's even worse. I mean, Muhammad basically just copied Christianity, sprinkled it with hedonism, and stolen local pagan traditions, and then him and his people, his silly bloody followers, have been raping and hating and murdering on a global scale for 1400 years and counting. And you want to talk about bloody primitive? I mean, the whole thing is based on this dude, Muhammad, seeing Gabriel, the archangel Gabriel, in a cave, right? Or Jibril, in a fucking cave. And then he came out and told everyone, I fucking saw Gabriel and he told me all this cool shit. Dude saw fucking Gabriel in a fucking cave. Literally, Gabriel, not even God, dude. And then he just adds bits and pieces to his shit over time because, you know, that's how religion works. Someone says, you know, what about this? Can I have this in the religion too? Yeah, certainly we do that in Islam. Ugh. I mean, they allow lying, stealing, sex slaves, polygamy, murder. All of these things are all allowed in this religion. I mean, come on, if that's not primitive, then I don't know what is. And they treat women like second-class citizens. They treat everybody who's not a Muslim like third-class citizens. So basically, you're either a slave who pays to be alive, or you're just dead. Those are your options. I mean, they've got a fucking point system for fuck's sake, and the whole thing is that you go to heaven if you get a lot of points, right? 72 virgins, because that's how it fucking works in heaven. That's what God does. Yeah, that's what God does. He gets all the virgins, and then you fuck them, and then he makes them magically fucking virgins again. And then your wife, or sorry, wives, because it's polygamy, isn't it? So your wives get to fucking watch. What a fucking honor. What a great fucking religion, man. And let's not even talk... No, we should. And let's talk about these little hadiths, these special little hadiths about, let's say, Muhammad's special adventures with men. Try to dig this information out of a fucking Muslim. Now, obviously, I'm not the only one who posts this sort of stuff online. There's plenty of people who are posting this stuff, but basically, ask a Muslim why dogs are haram. They won't tell you this. It's because there's a hadith that Gabriel wouldn't come into Muhammad's house late at night when everybody else was asleep because there was a dog in the house. Yeah, Gabriel, by the way, was also the likeness of the most beautiful man in Medina. Well known to be the most beautiful man in Medina. He was meeting Muhammad late at night. Didn't want anyone to know. He waited till everybody else was asleep. Didn't want anyone to know that he was, entering the house and hanging out with another man late at night. I mean, do the fucking maths, right? So this fucking creature, Muhammad, goes and then orders every dog in Medina to be killed. I mean, he softens it up later on, but fuck me dead. What a childish response. And this is a religion that is one of the most popular in the world and has become the biggest colonizers on the planet, I reckon, at this stage. And then there's the other one about the night of the men of Al-Zut, I think it is, where he dragged one of his little friends into... I say little friends, God, that's probably really disrespectful. And guess what? I fucking don't care, man. Anyway, him and one of his little followers out into the desert, drags him out of the desert and draws a little circle and says, don't cross this fucking line. And then he goes into the desert and gets pumped full of fucking man serum by many strong brown men from Al-Zut. Then he went back to his follower and laid his head in his lap, because that's not fucking weird at all, and fell asleep. Oh, what a poofter. And I don't know if you've heard the call to prayer. It's pretty fucking hideous. It's one of the most horrendous sounds in the world. To be fair, I've almost started to like it recently. I've heard it so many times, on internet videos and shit, and it's really started to sort of... Well, it's grated on me to the point where it's chipped away all my opposition, and now I sort of just laugh every time I hear it, especially the ones where they fuck up and their voices break or whatever. It's really good. Yeah, I know it's all disrespect to, people who sing in all the microtones that we don't use in Western music and shit, but, that just sounds like a convenient fucking excuse for I can't sing. And he makes all of the adherents of Islam, so all Muslims must pray 5 times a day. And that means you basically say that you really, really believe in Allah, and that you really, really, really believe that Muhammad really is the real messenger of Allah. 5 times a day, or else. No virgins for you. Or no watching your husband have virgins for you. Think about that when you miss prayer 5, you son of a bitch. And anyone who leaves Islam gets the glory of being lynched. Wonderful fucking religion. And their number one goal, number one objective is to spread Islam to every corner of the globe. So that means you spread it everywhere. All women everywhere become second-class citizens who have to watch their husbands have sex in the afterlife with eternal magical god virgins for the rest of time. And then anyone else gets killed or has to pay the jizya. Funny name for something that really fucking sucks. So, Islam is not a fucking religion that we need in this world. In 2026, it fucking shouldn't exist. Say what you want about Christianity, but it fucking isn't Islam. And Judaism, well... Can we just leave the poor fucking Jews alone at this fucking point? I mean, what the fuck have they actually ever done other than just be good at capitalism? Why are we killing people for having more money? Oh, that's right, because we're all fucking lazy cunts and we can't be bothered doing any fucking proper work, so we'd rather just tear down other cunts who fucking can be bothered. And say what you want about the Jews, but their state is secular. They allow other religions, they allow people to do pretty much as they fucking please. You can even get married when you're gay. Try doing that in Afghanistan. So in that respect, religion isn't an obsolete concept at all. Look at Judaism. Yeah, they've got some weird shit written in their holy book, but we gloss over these things. They're okay, they haven't hurt anybody ever, so... You know, and their state is very, very progressive and forward-thinking. They're doing a great fucking job. They're blowing up all of the fucking people that are holding people back in their region as well. We should all be fucking thanking them. So I think they can do what they like without any criticism as far as I'm fucking concerned. All three of these religions have one thing in common. They all rely on the honor system. It really was one dude that really did speak to God and was promised a whole bunch of shit in the material world when no one else was looking. Or fucking, I really am the prophet. I really am. I saw Gabriel. It wasn't God, it was Gabriel. No one can see God, so it was Gabriel, definitely. I didn't steal that from the Christians at all. Or, you know, someone whose mum got magically fucking impregnated, not by the dad, when no one else was looking. Because that's what God does. He fucking... magic god roots women when they're not fucking watching. So in that respect, monotheism, all of those monotheist religions, if there's any more I don't know about them, but those three main ones, honestly I think they're all a bit stupid for that respect alone. I mean, primitive is definitely following blindly some human that really did speak to God when you weren't fucking watching. I think traditional monotheism, the likes that we know of today, Christianity, Islam, is something we really should have grown out of by now. It's infantile. The idea of one God that you can pray to and curry favour with if you just pray hard enough and do all the things that I want you to do, it's just stupid. It's absurd. I mean, we've had men on the moon. We know what the sun's made of. I mean, we've been to space how many fucking times? Do we really honestly still need religion? I mean, creationism has been disproved countless bloody times. And secularism has removed the need for any kind of religious law. You take a look at the list of all the countries with the highest immigration rates, most of them are riddled with either crime, communism, or Islam. And these Western secular democracies have shown one thing. It's not necessary to be a person of faith to be a good person. I mean, you've got just as much chance of being an asshole if you're an atheist as you do if you're Catholic. I mean, just because the Bible says thou shalt not touch little boys doesn't mean that thou shalt. My personal opinion here is that it's completely ridiculous to worship a human like Muhammad or, you know, Jesus or anything like that. In this day and age, it's just stupidity. Why do you need that in your life? Why do you have to have that to be a good person? You know, and the Christians and the Muslims who feel like they've got to spread that shit fucking everywhere all the time, it's not necessary these days. You should fuck off. And the very idea of a singular creationist God that has a will and, you know, can be prayed to and curried favor with so that you can work a little less hard and do a little less learning on your own, that's just stupid. And it's harnessing human laziness as well, which is equally despicable. And it's the oldest trick in the book. Get people to do something you want to do by promising them something you can't possibly deliver, using something that can't possibly be proven and doesn't require any proof. I don't think that that's necessarily something we need in this day and age. But at the same time, if it's not hurting anyone, then who gives a shit, right? But it has to not hurt anyone. And I'm sorry, there's plenty of fucking Muslims who are still hurting people. If that shit's gonna survive in a place like Australia, it needs to change. There are very many verses in that fucking Quran that need to be denounced on an official level if it's going to survive in a country like this. And to all the Christians who are saying you got to accept all these Muslims as, you know, your equals and that Islam is sort of a brother religion or whatever, it isn't the same thing. You're being stupid. Just do a quick fucking Google search or a search on YouTube for what Islam really is. Grow some fucking balls, Christians. Your ancestors that fought in the fucking Crusades would be rolling in their fucking graves right now watching the takeover of Europe and America and Australia and the UK everywhere. It's just ridiculous. So no, I don't think religion's necessary at all these days. I think it's it's something you can choose to have if you want, and as long as you're not hurting anyone, then do whatever you fucking want. But if your religion says that you gotta hurt people, strike at the fucking neck, for example, then it's probably not a very nice thing to do, and it's not something we fucking need anymore, is it? Anyway, it's just a discussion, so, you know, if you are actually watching this shit, if you made it this far, thanks. Comment below, keep it going, keep the discussion going. See you next time.